Hi, everyone, and welcome to another live stream. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day filled with music and song. Even if you're not singing out, sometimes it's good just to listen to music to be motivated. By the way, that is one of the greatest ways that I get out of any bad mood or funk is actually just listening to the right kind of music that I know is going to pick me up. Always helps. Always helps. Music is magical. And I have some Spotify playlists that are for different moods that I'm in. Sometimes I want to be a little bit more reflective and really spiritual, and I have certain playlists. And then sometimes I just need power, like I don't know, when I write emails lately, it really helps me to put on music to have more energy and just kind of keep my, like, I don't know, the energy flowing so I don't get tired of writing or stuff. So yeah, music is truly magical. So welcome to my live stream today. I am going to do some Q&A at the end, but before I do that, I do want to talk about a few things. And by the way, those of you who have not subscribed to my new channel, I have a second channel that I just started recently. It's called Find Your Voice with Freya. And I think the best way to find it is just to go to bit.ly/findyourvoicetv. Because YouTube doesn't let me do a custom URL yet on YouTube. You can only, I think they say when you have 1,000 subscribers on a channel, you can start doing that. And I don't have that yet. But I'm trusting that we're going to get there pretty fast. So I'm actually going to go live on Find Your Voice after I get off this one right here. My daughter's at ballet practice. And so, and a friend of mine took the kids, which means I have about, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And I have a hair in my mouth. There we go. To answer some of your questions. And then it would be awesome, like last time, if some of you would also jump on the next live stream after this one on my other channel, Find Your Voice. My other channel is really a lot about motivation, telling stories about not just about singing, but about how you actually can make your dreams come true and how grittiness or grit really does pay off. But on this channel right here today, I really want to talk about why mindset work is so important for singers. I could tell you story upon story. It's in the past few years that I've been teaching, past several years that I've been teaching, it never happened that there was a student of mine and I didn't at one time or another really have to be a psychologist and really jump in. A lot of times it's a matter of confidence, even just someone daring to do certain exercises. There have been some students who, I demonstrate something to them and they look at me like, really? You want me to do that? Like right now, like me alone? And I'm like, yeah, why not? I just demonstrated. You want me to do it with you first? And like, even just, it's just the student and me, but even that is just so hard for some people to just step out and do something because that's a very natural human trait, is that we're also worried about what do we look like to others. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. And I think this really goes back to childhood. We're taught, well, this is how you do things, and this is how you conduct yourself, and this is how that's your posture, that's how you sit down, that's how you walk, and you don't do this, you don't do that, but that's the way it's done. And so we're already taught as kids, don't talk too loud, just don't draw any attention on you, don't stand out, just try to blend in. That's what we're taught. But if you want to be a really great singer, you don't want to blend in unless you want to sing in a choir, which, even in a choir, you still need to take charge and not just blend in. You don't want to just drown and not take an initiative. I have conducted choirs and it's so horrible because a lot of times when there's just hobby choirs, a lot of times what happens is that the singers, they're all kind of dragging behind because one person's waiting on the next person, and that person is already waiting on that other person to do something. And so it becomes this kind of chain reaction of everybody waiting on everyone and not taking initiative, not counting, and like, and getting thrown off when someone does something that's not right. And they're like, ooh, maybe I was wrong. So like having this doubt in your mind of oh, maybe I'm not right. That's what I teach my students. And that's why I think it's so bad to sing along tracks. Like singing along, it's fun, but you're not going to learn anything as a singer, because what happens is you're just singing along and you're just being dragged on by the original singer that's on the track. Better yet is you at least find a karaoke track, and you will see, a lot of people tell me, well, when I sing along, I sound fine. And then when I sing by myself, I sound horrible. Well, that is because it is so much harder to take the initiative and to actually produce something without following. But that's what it's all about, right? That's what you want to train your brain to do. You want to train yourself to take the initiative, to trust your musical instincts, and to even develop musical instincts. And you can't do it if you just continuously just follow along. I get on to my students. I always tell them it's okay just to listen to the track to learn a song. But essentially what I always recommend is don't sing along. But what you do is record yourself singing the song, even if it's not perfect yet. Just record yourself singing a song and then learn it that way, and then record it again the next day or the next time when you want to work on it. And train yourself to listen to your own voice and to critique yourself and to find little details that you can change, that you can do differently. That's how you really learn. And the reason why mindset work is so important for singers is that, now, first of all, you can't shut out your life from your singing. It's not possible. Your voice is part of your body, and your psyche really flows into it a lot. I just can't even tell you how many times I've had students cry in the middle of a lesson just because a song reflected something that they were going through and it was really difficult, and they started crying. And so, I can't just say, oh, shut up. What? I don't care. I mean, of course, we had to talk about it. But it made the song so much more meaningful, because there was always a lesson in those moments when they broke down and cried. And I've had several students who actually even, around the age of 50 went through divorce, and it was very new and it was just happening, and I didn't know, and then it spilled out in the middle of singing lesson, because the song just made it all just bubble up. And so many times it was just a good lesson, because I always teach you, you have to connect to something specific whenever you're singing a song, in order to really bring it across in a very authentic and believable, credible way, is really to connect to it personally. You have to have something very concrete, like something tangible that it means to you, because some songs are just very abstract. Some songs are like, oh, I love you and you're wonderful, or whatever, or life on earth, whatever. And I just think it is so much easier if you have a picture in mind, or a specific person that you're singing about or singing to. Some songs are talking about you, some talk about me, like it actually uses the word you all the time, and some use you and me, and some use the third persons like he and she. So like, you got to have something very specific, something tangible. It's like I always tell people, the more specifics you give yourself to act on, the easier and the more fun it becomes to sing. Like, what do you feel like? Are you hot? Are you cold? Are you outside? Are you like seeing that person right now? How's your heartbeat? Are you breathing quickly? Are you nervous, or are you calm? So all these factors, and what is the person like? What do you feel like? When was that? Very specific, just as specific as you can be. And some exercise that an exercise that I ask my students to do sometimes when they have a really hard time kind of grasping a song. Sometimes it's really hard to grasp a song. It's like, I have that. I'm like, what in the world does that song mean? And there's not really like a right or wrong. It's just you have got to find a meaning in it. You have got to know what it means to you, at least. Otherwise, your audience is not going to know what it's supposed to mean, or what the meaning is that you want to convey. But a good exercise is to even just write down like a, how do you say that in English? I forget the word, like a Steckbrief, which that's a German word, but it is like, hair color, height, hobbies, favorite food, and then characteristics of the person that I'm singing about, or who am I being in that song, and then also about that other person, like what is that other person that I'm singing about like? Is it, is it a friend? Is it a relationship? Is it a parent? Is it a child? Is it like, I don't know, just whatever it is. Just kind of, the more specific you can be, the better it is. So mindset work is definitely very, very important. So hi everyone. Oh, I think this is Rino. Welcome to the live stream. There's not a lot of people asking questions today. Maybe you just want to listen, but I just can't even tell you how important mind work is, especially for confidence. And the thing is that when you have those specifics, your nervousness is reduced, like a lot, just because you have something very concrete that you want to sing about, and it gives you so much to put into your voice, to where you don't really think about like 37 technical issues. And I always say, once you get on stage or once you get in front of the mic, it's time just to let it go, because you're not going to make any technical progress right now. It's not like you're in a lesson and you can try out things, and you just have to trust in, this is the level, that's where I'm at, and everything that I've learned so far, that's behind me, and that hopefully is, some things have become automatic to where I can rely on those things, and those things that are not automatically happening now, I just need to let it go now. And instead of trying in a very tense way, trying to be all perfect and to not have the, like all the technical things go wrong. Instead of that, really actually focus on the meaning and on enjoying the process of delivering a meaning to your audience. And not only that, the process of living through the meaning of a song. And then it's miraculous. I have seen things happen to students of mine, to where the voice will do incredible things if you actually connect to a song. There are things that happen that I could not possibly explain in a very technical way, because it would be robotic if I tried to show you, like, maybe you could do a little bit louder here and then not do a vibrato here. And like, this is the microcosmos I've talked about. Now, some of that you can really learn and study, and there's musical principles underlying this. But like, there's no substitute for actually connecting to a song and expressing and allowing yourself to have those voice colors. We just talked last Monday in our meeting for the master class, and we have a weekly meeting where we always get together, and there's a couple of people in the hot seat, and I get to work with them personally, and everybody else gets to watch. We had this topic of like really connecting and actually allowing a voice color that is not just pure tone to come in, like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, you see, like, I'm weeping, I have some vocal fry, and like, how would you explain that? If I explained every detail of what I'm doing technically, it would be robotic and it wouldn't be right anymore. So just allowing yourself, and I see a lot of hi there, everyone. I see a lot of singers who are used to, especially those who have sung in choirs a lot, or maybe even those who have sung classically, to not allow themselves to let those sounds into the voice, like the breath and some vocal fry. And I have to say that even I have sung in professional opera theater, even there, it actually does happen. We let this in. It's like, Papa Pieta, Pieta, Papa Pieta, Pieta. She's singing, please, 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 daddy, my cute little daddy, please, please, please let me marry the guy. And even there, we're letting the breath in. I mean, that is a lot more emotional, even, trying to have good, perfect technique, but it's not human when you don't let those sounds in, or like your breath. It's kind of weird sometimes. If I said, I hate you, and you hear no breath, that's kind of weird, right? But if I go, I hate you, I mean, that's usually what would happen if I really, if I'm angry, that is reflected in the way I breathe and the sound in my voice, right? And it's not just tone. There's like that is going on. Or when I'm really sad, and it's like, I'm so sad, I could cry. I mean, I wouldn't go, I'm so sad, I could cry. If I try to aim for a really clean tone, it's not very convincing. I don't think it is. So, mental work, a lot of mental work, mindset. Mindset is so important. If you think about yourself, it sounds horrible and I suck, not a good thing, because it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I know a lot of singers, I've seen this among my students, when they have a performance, they go on stage, and it's like, even when they step into my studio, they almost apologize before they even start singing. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry, this is not gonna be good. And I'm like, I don't want to know about that. And your audience isn't gonna want to know about why it's gonna sound horrible or why you're gonna suck. Like, I don't want to know that you think you suck. That's bad, because if you think that, I probably will want to think that. So first of all, don't tell me about it. Don't show me about it. And don't make a face when something goes wrong and you're singing, when you break, and then don't go like in the middle of your singing. Just don't. But it's so important to have a positive mindset and not to label yourself as, oh, it sucks or I'm bad, but just tell me what it is that you don't like. What is it that isn't going the way you want it to? Do you have not a resonant sound? Do you think you sound throaty? Do you think it sounds narrow, squeaky? What is it? Are your high notes the problem? Do you break? Is it the register transitions that give you a hard time? Does your voice sound like it's not consistent? Like when you're in chest voice, it sounded like one person, and you switch to head voice, it sounds like a whole different singer. Like, what is the actual problem? And then it's kind of like narrow it down to what is the actual problem, and then you actually already have the solution. When you can name the problem, you almost named the solution already. Yeah. AEV Art is asking, what about facial expressions? That's a very good question. What I see a lot among singers is that kind of, it's those, how do I want to say, like, it's cliche gestures and cliche facial expressions. It's always this, I'm singing. It's always the same. And also the gestures, there are a lot of times like this, except lower than you can see now. And that's not what you do when you actually talk. And I think that's why I teach my students to actually not move arms, shoulders, to have very loose and relaxed arms and shoulders, and arms just hanging by your side. That way you can kind of decouple. There's a video coming up about decoupling also. You can just decouple the tension in your support, yes, but your neck, your jaw, your arms need to be relaxed, so that even when you're singing really difficult stuff that needs a lot of body tension, your arms still can move in a very natural way, and your gestures can be like very natural, as if you were talking. I always tell my students, you should, I should, as an audience, as a listener, I should have the illusion of, you're just telling me a story, you just happen to sing it, right? So it shouldn't be like, oh, like, I don't know, just, I don't like it. I think it's unnatural when singers just keep on always doing the same gesture, or the worst is like this, like by your stomach, like this, or like even some hold the stomach, that's terrible. I mean, you can do it for practice, but you should learn to not have to do anything with your arms so that you can do what's natural. And facial expression is the same, don't really, I mean, don't like relax, practice to relax your forehead, because you don't want to always be in this very frowny, wrinkled up kind of forehead situation. You want to make sure you're not expressing the pain of singing, but that you're actually reflecting what's going on in the song. So practicing to relax the face is really good. That way you can actually make those expressions that are authentic. John Dorn. Hey, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks, Freya. This makes perfect sense. I have strange expressions when singing because I'm worried about technique about being instead of being in the song. Yeah, absolutely. And you're not the only one who has that problem. A lot of people do. Singers. Surfing is my thing. It's so cool. I like your name. Can you react to a quick video? I got a request. I don't know. Oh, as a matter of fact, this is something I'm planning in the near future. I actually want to do some videos of how does she do it, or how does he do it. And what I'm planning to do is actually commenting on an original singer's video, and not like, I don't want to label something like, oh, I like it or I don't like it. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to actually point out what they're doing technically and how they're achieving their sound. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the technical side. I mean, I have like a software where I can screen capture, but I don't like the way it's set up. I think I'm going to use OBS, Open Broadcast System. Is that what it's called? The abbreviation. I have it on my desktop, but I need to set it up. I know how to use it. It's just a matter of setting up the right, so to where it's like left and right screen, split screen or something. Okay. I'm trying to okay, I don't even know how long I've been. 21 minutes. Okay, I actually need to wrap it up pretty quickly because I do want to go live on my other channel and chat a little more there. So anyone who's interested can hop on over there after I get off this. My other channel is called Find Your Voice, and you can find it. The easiest way to find it is just put in the URL in your browser of bit.ly/Find Your Voice. Because YouTube doesn't allow me yet on that channel to give it a unique URL with an actual name. It has like letters and numbers. So it's really hard to find, but the channel is new, so it's hard to find. So Find Your Voice. And I want to talk more about mindsets and stories. I'm gonna tell a story about how I was the shyest kid on the block in the world, and how I became not shy at all. I could just do anything nowadays in front of anybody, literally. Oh, not anything, but almost anything. Hey, Mariah is a legend. I'm doing fine. Yes, you're a little late and I'm about to wrap it up, but it would be really cool if you could be on my other channel too, which I'm going to go live on here right after. And once again, the chat is disappearing on me. What is going on? Oh, there it is. There it's back. It's weird. I need to really wrap it up. How can someone sing in head voice with a clear tone? Because I believe I'm sounding too breathy. I think it would be really good for you to watch the How to Sing Opera series. I have a few videos, and it talks about not pressing and not leaning against the vocal cords, which a lot of times causes breathiness when you have too massive of an air column pushing against the vocal cords. It causes strain and also breathiness. So you may want to watch those. Thank you so much, Akarsh Kumar Sahai. I don't know if I can say that name. There's like the names I read sometimes. It's just, I love cultures. I've traveled the world, really. I've been in many, many places. And I just love names. They're so different from different places in the world. Hannah Banana, the choir director at my school, said that I was an alto, but lately I've noticed that when I belt a bit more like a mezzo, it feels more natural than alto range. So what am I? I I don't well, you know what? Alto and mezzo, that's a true classical alto is something different than an alto in a choir. And in a choir, there's no distinction between alto and mezzo or mezzo and soprano. So you would either sing the high voice or the low voice. There's not a lot of distinctions. And then, of course, you could divide up the soprano section into first soprano, second soprano, which the first sopranos would sing like the higher part. But, in choirs, there's basically, it's not about your timbre. In choir, it's really about singing pitches and which pitches you can sing. And it is much different as a soloist singer because your voice type is not just determined by how high or low you can sing. There are altos or mezzos who can sing pretty high. However, their voice color is darker and kind of heavier. And that's why they wouldn't be like a lyric coloratura soprano, because they don't do the fast moving stuff, but they do the heavier stuff. Yeah, an alto is a vocal type, that's true, but like I'm saying, there's a huge difference between like choir vocal types, which is usually only divided up into four main categories, and then you have like the ones and the twos and sometimes threes. Um, and actually a soloist category, there's a difference because your voice color plays into being a soloist. What do you think is the fastest way to learn singing? Is it imitating other singers but still not sound like them? I think the fastest way to learn singing is a combination of trying to listen to others and also knowing what they do and doing it. It's it's really hard to say because it really depends on your kind of natural disposition. For me, it was always really easy, and I never really got into any bad habits. But I've had a lot of students who have just sang without instruction, and they've gotten into some habits that are no that kept holding them back from making more progress because the technique was just not in a way that where you could sing higher or with more power. Like if you have a breathy tone all the time because you've never figured out how to have a good vocal cord closure, you're going to have problems with singing higher and belting. It's just not going to happen. So that's why it's really good to have some instruction on along the way, someone to watch you, someone to tell you personally, are you doing it like it's in the exercises? Well, thank you everyone so much. I need to wrap it up here, and I'm going to go live on my other channel. I would love to see some of you. And yeah, I'm going to talk about my story a little bit and how I used to be so incredibly shy. You just would not believe it. And how I came to be a person who I'm very confident nowadays. And I don't even like, I really don't care what anybody thinks anymore. And I can be on stage, I can hold a speech. And I mean, I do speak a lot when I'm on stage, I moderate, and I never do a script. I always go on the spot. I always improvise. And I just want to tell you the story of how I got there and how I got here and how this happened, that I was this very shy kid, terrified shy kid, and how I got to be me now. How to find a good voice teacher. Okay, last question. I'm looking, but it's overwhelming. Yeah, it's hard. I know there's different places. There's private music schools. There is maybe at a college, a local college. There's sometimes singing teachers or even very advanced singing students who will offer lessons. Of course, there's a way to have online lessons. There's a lot of places where you can actually take online lessons or communities. I don't know if you're in my Facebook group. That's very helpful. Like my Facebook group is very active. You can always ask questions there. It's called Master Your Voice. And there's like 1,800 plus singers. And it's really fun there because everybody's just always encouraging each other. It's a very positive environment there. The most important thing in finding a teacher is finding someone you feel you can trust, because your voice is really something very personal and you want to feel like you can trust someone and like what they're telling you kind of clicks with you and it makes sense. I know there's some voice teachers who are very kind of woo woo. I don't know how else to call it. I had a colleague and she was all like, you just have to feel it. Just feel the waves. And I don't know, that would be too intangible for me. And then there are those that are very sciency. Um, I'm kind of, I guess I like a combination. Like you need kind of the mental work and the spiritual and connecting emotionally, but you also need like knowing the technique. And then the musicality is very important to me too, to actually learn music, not just voice, but to how to make your voice work within music. So yeah, and then yeah, I do one-on-one lessons and I have programs that you can do. Yeah, but it is really important to have actually someone watch you. Okay, I'm gonna jump off here now. It's 30 minutes. Hope everyone is having a great day, and it would be awesome to see you on my other live stream that I'm gonna start right here, right now, after I get off. Find Your Voice is the other channel, and I'd love to see you there. Have a great day. Bye bye.